Good morning, Internet. It is Thursday, May 26th, 2011, day 4 of Florida. It's about 4:30 post-meridian, and I'm here in the Marlin Room, aka the workout room, which happens to be the emptiest room out of the entire building here. Apparently no one likes to work out, and I'm not the only one, because there's no one in here, ever. I was out on the balcony going to film this, but two problems. Sun was too bright, and it made my face look all weird and shady, and there's also old people sitting on the balcony next to mine, listening to me talk to the camera. They probably thought I was a freak or something. So I'm not going to deny that I am a freak or something, but I'm not going to sit there and awkwardly record a video with people listening in. So that being said, I'm here in the Marlin Room, and although I have not worked out once while I was here, I have made many trips to the water jug here because it has delicious, cold, refreshing water, and I can just fill up my glass and walk back to my room and have a nice, cold glass of water because, well, let's face it, free water. It's good stuff. I wouldn't like to live here in Destin, Florida. I mean, I understand it's a great vacation spot. The weather's great. The sun's always out. It hasn't rained once since we've been here, although I'm sure it does rain here, the tropical Florida rains and whatnot. And I wouldn't like to live here mainly because, first of all, everything's so like spaced out, it seems like. Maybe it's just this area by the beach, but it seems like it takes like 15 minutes to get to the nearest like grocery store. The nearest movie theater is like 20 minutes away. There's no theme parks or anything here. I mean, there's like one water park, and there's like a few small go-kart places. But in general, there's really nothing too much fun to do here other than be on the beach. And that could get really repetitive, expensive, and boring. And I imagine it's even worse to live further away from the beach area because, sorry, I thought someone was there, because, well, just think about it. If you're living in Florida, it's really hot outside, there's no beach, like, what do you do? It's just kind of like, I don't know, sandy and gross. At least that's the way I envision it. And I don't think I'd like to live here. Sorry, someone was like at the door, again, looking at me. But, whatever. So, I wouldn't like to live here in Destin. So last night I was watching Final Destination 3 with my dad. Get it? Destin, destination. I am so good at like these transitions. I should just be a transitionist. They should pay me to do transitions. Anyways, so I was watching Final Destination 3 with my dad last night. I'm going to review it right now, very quickly. I didn't like it. It sucked. Moving on. So I was sitting there by the ocean this morning with my dad, and we saw this crab kind of like come out of the sand, and it just kind of started staring at us. And my dad looked at it, and he was making a joke, like talking for the crab, and he was saying something like, "Oh man, I hope they don't see me coming out of the sand and just throwing the sand out of here." Because you know how crabs dig their little like holes in the sand? Well, that's what this guy was doing, and he was just digging his little sand hole, and he'd pop out every 10 seconds or so with a clump of sand in his crab hand, claw. And he'd look at us for like 20 seconds before he decided the coast was clear and no one was watching. And so he'd throw the sand back in the hole and get more sand and throw it out. He must be building like a freaking sand mansion because he was in there for hours. We were talking there for about an hour, and the whole entire time he was coming out, in, throwing out sand. So he was probably building like a 3-story, backyard pool kind of mansion underground, which is pretty awesome. And yes, the final story for today is, this is pretty funny. There was these two women who were throwing a ball back and forth in the ocean, and there was this like really kind of like fat guy, and he wasn't old, he was probably like mid-30s I'd say, but he was kind of fat, and he had this huge like white, actually I think it was a black board with like white flowers all over it, and it looked really fruity. It didn't look like a manly white and black, it was like a really feminine looking like boogie board kind of thing, and he's just by himself in the ocean, and all of a sudden the ball kind of lands near him, so he picks it up, and they start kind of like, I guess, talking. And it's really funny because this guy tries to show off his manly throw, so he throws the ball, right? And not only does he throw it so poorly, it's like doing like sideways, like flips every way. He threw it worse than the girls were throwing it, and they didn't know how to throw the ball, quite obviously. Not only that, but he threw it in the wrong like direction, and people can keep coming to the door. I guess I'm trying to like scare people away or something. But point is, he threw the ball, and not only did it like not land in the right direction, and it like flopped every which way, but it didn't even land to her. Like, it was short. He threw the ball short of where she was standing. And so I'm sure this guy was completely and utterly embarrassed, I would have been, to throw a ball that was like maybe 30 feet away. Not only do you throw it wrong and it doesn't go in the right direction, but you don't even throw it far enough. And I don't know. I just thought it was really funny, so I was kind of watching him, laughing at him. I guess I'm kind of a jerk like that. And this shirt, in case you were wondering, it looks like the thing's like wearing like a crown or something. It's like two eagles like spread down the middle. And I got this shirt for like $5 at Kohl's or something like a year ago. Brought it with me on vacation because it's really light, and that's why I'm wearing it. So, that being said, hope you guys had fun listening to me ramble on today, and hope you enjoyed my review of Final Destination 3 and my crab impersonations. I'll see you guys tomorrow.